Hello guys, today is day 41, June 17, and we are going to do polity episode number 3 because 1 and 2 was done long time back. Till yesterday we were doing geography. Now we'll continue with polity for 2 days. So today's questions will be again taken from our test series, which is there for 2021 and 22. So you can come and watch the video and enroll because installments and discounts are ending this week. Vice Courses channel is putting mains related videos and hot topics from the news every day, and whatever topic is being requested by students are being made in a day-to-day basis. So if you also have some suggestions, you can go and watch the video and put in the comment sections. Okay, so all these have been being done in a daily basis. Like today's episode also, like green fungus is also uploaded, so you can go and watch that and give your feedback. So today's first question: which of the following was not borrowed from the US Constitution? Integrated judiciary, independent judiciary, judicial review, advisory power of the Supreme Court, removal of Supreme Court and High Court judges. So this topic is important for your prelims and mains. It is given in your polity textbook also, like what all India borrowed from different constitutions. So comparison of different constitutions and parliaments is already there mentioned in your main syllabus as well. So you have to know this in and out. 1 and 4 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 3, 4, 5 only, 2 and 5 only. So definitely all the 5 cannot be there. So which of the following was not borrowed? So answer is 1 and 4 only, because the one integrated judiciary, it is actually taken from the Government of India Act 1935. Okay, and the 4 advisory power of the Supreme Court is taken from Canada. The other ones, independent judiciary, this judicial review, and removal of the Supreme Court and High Court judges is taken from the US Constitution. Okay, so you have to know this basic details, like what from Germany, what from France, what from Russia. We have adopted certain things, you have to know it. Parliamentary questions are generally printed on a green paper for which of the following? Starred questions, unstarred questions, private member questions, short notice question. So this again is a very important one. You would have, if you are watching Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and all, which is now merged into together like one channel, Sansad TV. So there you will be seeing this parliament sessions where they raise certain like a point of order, questions, objections. So you have to know this kind of questions, what they are and in what form are they given. So something is printed on green paper. So which of the following is that? So here if you see, starred questions is the one which is given in green paper. Okay, so if you see different color coding also we have given here. Starred questions in green, unstarred questions on white, short notice questions on pink, and questions to private members on yellow paper. Okay, so this kind of very like minute details and all may not be there in Lakshmikant, but UPSC has a tendency to ask questions which is outside the textbook also. Okay, so what is the meaning of each thing? That's also given here. Start question is the one to which a member desires an oral answer on the floor of the house. Okay, answers to such questions may be followed by supplementary questions by members. Start questions derive their name from the fact that they are always distinguished by an asterisk. Okay, asterisk symbol is there, which is there on your keyboard also, asterisk, so that is a star sign. Unstarred question is so named because it does not carry an asterisk mark. Answers to such questions, unlike a start question, is not given orally but in written format. Okay, so obviously it will not have any supplementary question. You are giving us a written answer. Then a short notice question is one which is related to a matter of urgent public importance and can be asked with shorter notice, that is less than 10 days, than the period of notice prescribed for an ordinary question. It has to be answered orally. So this also is orally. Okay. Then questions can be asked to private member also, which I told in yellow paper. So half an hour discussion like this. Many terms are there which is there in the Lakshmikant, which is not there in the Lakshmikant. Make sure that you study everything by joining a good test series. Which of the following are not true? Are true about no confidence motion? Article 75 of the Indian Constitution mentions a detailed procedure on no confidence motion. It can be initiated only in the Lok Sabha. It need not mention the reasons for its adoption. The motion needs the support of 50 members to begin with. It is moved against entire Council of Ministers, unlike the censure motion, which can be against individual minister as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5 only, 1, 4 only, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. So different types of motion repeatedly asked by UPSC. You should know the substantive motion, you should know censure motion, adjournment motion. Everything is given in Lakshmikant chapter, I think chapter number 22 in 4th edition. And we have revision charts for that, we have MCQs for that. So if you do that alone, you will be covering almost everything which is needed for your exam. So here, the answer will be 2, 3, 4, 5 only, because Article 75 just mentions that the ministers are collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. There is no mention of no confidence motion. Article 118 permits House to frame rules for its operation. So the procedure of no confidence motion is framed and present under Rule 198 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha. You know, like there are Lok Sabha rules and Rajya Sabha rules. In that, they have mentioned all the procedure of the no confidence motion. Okay, but in Constitution directly, it is not mentioned. So statement 1 is false. But other 4 statements are true. It can be initiated only in the Lok Sabha. It need not mention the reasons. Then support of 50 members to start it, and it is moved against entire Council of Ministers. Okay, so make sure you by heart this and also revise this, because there is a tendency to forget it. Now Article 371A to 371I contains various special provisions for many states in India, including northeastern states. Which northeastern state is not having special provisions under them? Okay, meaning we know like the Article 370, when it existed, it was for Jammu and Kashmir. 371A is there, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, that many are there, and each is for different state in India. So one of the northeastern state in these options does not fall under this, meaning they don't have the special provisions. So which is that one which does not have it? Whether it is Meghalaya, Assam, Manipur, or Mizoram. 3 out of them has it, 1 doesn't have. Which is that one which doesn't have? Meghalaya does not have it. So in chapter number 33 it is given. So if you see Article 371A is Nagaland, B is Assam, C is Manipur, F is Sikkim, G is Mizoram, H is Arunachal Pradesh, but Meghalaya and Tripura are not part. So in these options, if you see, if Tripura was there, that also would have been an answer, but here only Meghalaya is given, and that is not covered under this particular section. Okay, Assam, Manipur, Mizoram is covered. What are DK Basu guidelines related to in terms of Indian polity? So there are many guidelines, like Vishaka guidelines was asked by UPSC once, like what is Vishaka guidelines related to? Same like that, DK Basu guidelines. It is there in your polity like textbook also. Is it population census? Is it voting rights and election? Is it arrest and detention? Or is it fundamental duty? So a person who reads the Lakshmikant in and out, he will know all these guidelines, he will know all the important court cases, he will know all the amendments. So that is where you are different from other people who simply scan through the textbook. So make sure that you revise this and also make notes, okay, of these kind of things, so that you can recollect at the last minute. So it's arrest and detention. DK Basu guidelines are the specific requirements and procedures laid down by the Supreme Court of India for the police and other agency to follow during the arrest, okay, and interrogation. Sorry. So some of the guidelines include the police officials who carry out the arrest or interrogation should wear clear, accurate, and visible identification and name tags. A memo of arrest should be prepared at the time of arrest and should include the time and date of arrest. It should be attested by at least one witness, who could include a family member of the person arrested. The arrest memo should be countersigned by the person arrested. The person arrested, detained, or being interrogated has a right to inform a relative, friend, or well-wisher. When a friend or relative lives outside the district, the time, place of arrest, and venue of the custody must be notified by police within 8 to 12 hours after the arrest. So like this, detailed things are given by DK Basu guidelines. Okay, so if UPSC asks the other way also, like where are these things, any of these provisions are mentioned, it is not in the constitution or it is not in any other amendment, it is under a guidelines given by the Supreme Court of India. Okay, I hope it's clear. So please subscribe and contact us for what this test series, because everything is done free of cost for you, the video series. So please see to it that you watch it, give your comments, and we'll try to improve it based on your feedback. So thank you and have a nice day.